At the end of the term, you will have a practicum. It's the most important part of this training because you will just do the same kind of tasks that you will do next year and during your career as mentors. I don't. So we want to prepare you in a real situation with real classes, and you will apply everything that you have learned during the academic year. It's a very complete practicum. You will do it in NGS school in Phnom Penh, so Sisowat and Pekriat. It will last 3 months. It's a lot. In May, June, and July. The objectives. There are lots of objectives, lots of things to learn during the practicum. So, to demonstrate your teaching abilities, you must be good teachers before you tell other teachers how to do it. So, there are two kinds of activities. Demonstrations. You teach in front of the class with another teacher next to you. Or co-teaching. You teach together with the teacher you are trying to help. Okay? Demonstration and co-teaching. Then you should be able to reflect on your own practice. We have a software, Observic. You will record your lesson on a video, watch your own lesson on video, and make comments about yourself, which is sometimes surprising. Conduct conferences with teachers. So before you mentor another teacher, you will discuss with him to understand his objectives, what he wants to learn from you, what he wants to improve in his classroom, in his teaching. That's the preparation phase. And then the feedback. After you observe the teacher, you must provide him with feedback. That's your main task. But obviously, the most important skill is to observe the teacher. Observe the teacher with benevolence and in a non-threatening way. As I explained, you are not inspectors. You are in the school to help, not to judge.
Yeah.
So, how can I pass the message without threatening the teacher? It's not easy to do. Because sometimes when you observe, you find a lot of things that are wrong, and people don't like to get bad feedback. But you have to tell them what's wrong. So you must find a good way to change. So when you provide your feedback, it should be constructive to improve them and not to destroy them. At the end, you should write reports, because if you just tell them orally, it's not very effective. So you write reports, but only for the teacher. As I will explain, the reports will be sent to the teacher and not to the school principal. Okay? It's confidential, it's between you and the teacher. Okay? And you will use the observing software, which is a big part of the ICT. Any questions so far? Your main task is to conduct classroom observation to help the teacher.
So in this test, how can mentor do with the profession?
So mentors can help. It's a difficult question. There are several problems. In fact, first, are you competent to mentor someone who has another subject? That's one of your concerns. Or is it what to do with the decision of the principal? What is the question? The first question, so what should you do if you are a math teacher and you are mentoring a Khmer teacher, basically? So my practice, I can tell you that there are some basic principles of teaching that apply to any kind of subject. Even when I don't understand the lesson, I can still make a few comments. You know, I'm French. I don't understand Khmer. Last year, I visited Khmer teachers. But I could tell a few things. For instance, that the teacher spent too much time just discussing with the class. And I could observe the students, and I thought, oh, many of the students are sitting idle, okay, they are not involved. I can just observe it. When you are doing your lesson, you don't have enough time to observe your students. You should, but it's difficult. Someone who is not a teacher, someone who comes from outside, he has time. I can look everywhere. Oh, in this group, I can see only one student working. In this group, oh, they participate much better. And I can give this information to even if it's not my subject. So there are many things you can do.
This is one question for another case. Like, she's my teacher, and then the school is not assigning her to teach other subjects, and their ability or their profession is not qualified to the student. So how to do and how to
you have problem. You have the institutional problem.
Yeah.
The problem with the school principal.
Yeah.
And the availability of competent teachers. Sorry, but I don't think you can do much. Unless you have, you know someone who is better in this subject, it can be difficult. You don't have the power to change things. What you can do as a mentor is to tell the principal, be serious. Between Khmer and math, it's too different. Okay, that's too much. You're asking too much from this teacher. Yeah, you can do that, but it will not solve the problem of the school. Another thing that we can do is to help the teacher to find strategies for continuous learning, help him complete his learning in order to teach, For instance, it's relatively easy to teach history even if you don't have too much training in history because you can read books. It's relatively easy to read books in history. I don't say that to lower the merits of history teachers, but it's easier to learn history by yourself than to learn math by yourself. Try to learn math by yourself. Good luck. Without a teacher, good luck. But history, it's possible. You can guide the teacher to learn by himself. That's a possibility. You can also guide him to use different strategies in order to feel more comfortable. For instance, use inquiry-based learning. Make students do research. A way to teach when you are not absolutely sure of the content. It's tricky, it's difficult, but it can be a solution if you don't have. But there is, you have a good. Sometimes you will have to find a solution outside of the school. That's why we use observing. For instance, when you are mentoring a teacher of another subject, you're a math teacher, you're mentoring a math teacher. And okay, you don't have the answers for too difficult, you're not good enough at that. It's normal. We have the observing program. The observing software, you can record the lesson on video and send it to a math mentor. Okay? Who will give specific advice. That's why it's important that you know each other. Because you know, okay, I don't have the solution, but I know people who can help you with observing. Okay? And for your very specific problem with principals who are not demanding too much, yeah, it's difficult. You can have the teacher can do the best they can. But you just remember one thing. You cannot solve all the problems. Okay? So stay on board. Don't take it too personally. Sometimes there are problems above your strength. It's a very tough one. What you can do is to use your network to try and find a solution. Okay? So tell your problem to other people who might have a solution. In the district, with Skype, with the other mentors, share the information when you have a problem like that. But if you're in a tiny village in remote province, maybe there isn't just enough teaching. I don't know. That's difficult. Anything else?
Yes, question related to experience. I have known a teacher. She actually she teach environment subject, but the school principal assigned her to teach morality, and the morality in some lesson related to political issue, related to the like a hot issue, and she told me because I teach that subject, she want to teach her subject, the mathematics subject, because whenever she explain, student, she feels scared.
She's scared,
And not
okay.
have confidence.
Okay.
But even she asked the school principal to teach her subject, but
Yeah. Also, this is a very specific topic. It's not related to my presentation. So if you want to discuss privately about it, or there will be some topics when you can during the training to ask that kind of question. But it's too big for just a few minutes today. Write your question somewhere and keep it in mind. I will try to answer it later. Write your question. So, back to the practicum. You will conduct classroom observations. That will be your main duty during the practicum. But also, at the end, in July, you will have to help the school principal with other tasks. It's not yet defined precisely. It could be help for the preparation of the exams or the preparation of special events at the end of the academic year. It's not very practical in July to organize classroom observation because people are very busy with a lot of other things, the back door, and so on and so on. So for the third month, it will be a little bit different. The classroom observations. The basic principle is that you will work in teams. You are evaluated individually, of course, as always, but you practice together in small teams. Always the same principle. Work in groups, but evaluate individually. 6 teams, which means that there will be 4 or 5 of you in each team. And there will be a supervisor. So that will be one of the 4 instructors, me and Dr. Somara. One supervisor per team. So you will have a lot of different roles. You have several roles. Team leader. Yep. Demonstrator or co-teacher. I've already explained what it means. You will teach with the teacher. Technical supporter for observing, which means that you will record the lesson, basically. Edit the video, upload the video on the internet, and so on. And just a reviewer, you observe the lesson and you make comments about the lesson. That's the main task. So, the team leader. We have a team leader and a supervisor. The idea is that we give you as much responsibility as possible. What you can do by yourself, you do by yourself. Okay? To organize the work, you can do it by yourself. You don't need the supervisor to do it. So, each week, we choose one team leader, and the team leader makes the decisions. For instance, he organizes the schedule, he animates the discussions with the teacher, and so on. Okay? And the supervisor says almost nothing. Okay? He lets you try, and he intervenes only if it's necessary. Observe and don't test. Okay? during the first week, the supervisor will help you and will demonstrate what to do. You're not alone. There will be someone with you to help you with the whole process. But yeah, it's constructivism. You learn also by doing yourself. Okay? That's it. You will work with the teachers, which means that you have to define the learning objectives with the teachers. It's not you who decide. The objectives of the lessons are decided by the teacher, so what, the teacher of Practicum, and you are here to guide them, not to do in their place. Okay? You will decide with the teacher if you do some co-teaching or a demonstration. You cannot force them. Oh, please, step aside, I will do the lesson because I know how to teach. No, it doesn't work like that, okay? You should not undermine the authority of the teachers. Okay? Exactly the same as me with the instructor. When I will teach at the center, I don't want to undermine the authority of Mr. Manette or Mr. Hall and so on. Okay? And in the same way, you review the lesson plan with them. There will be a lot of discussion before the lesson. Okay? You take the lesson plan and you make a few comments to improve it, but the decision is made by the teacher. Okay? So far? It's clear? Any questions so far? During an observation session, the mentors observe in silence. In silence. It's very important. Don't interrupt a teacher. You don't want him to look bad in front of his student. I'm sure as teachers you don't like when someone else comes in your classroom and interrupt you. So don't do that. Did it happen to some of you? Someone who comes in your classroom and interrupts you, saying that it's not good, your teaching is not good? Have you experienced that? Would you like it? You would be angry, yeah, sure. Yeah, it happened to me. It was a very unpleasant experience. So you observe and you take notes. You note everything. What's good, what's bad. Don't forget to note what's good. So it could be a lot of things. Student behavior, teacher postures and body language, content, material, everything. There are lots of possibilities. Sometimes a lesson fails just because the teacher don't smile. Please smile. Yeah. A student do an exercise. Teacher, okay, sit down. Okay, sit down. Well, is it good? Is it bad? What is a good answer to the question? Okay. Thank you. That's a very good answer. Smile. Sometimes it's just a problem. or sometimes the teacher speaks too fast. And okay, now you open your book page 6. So, where are you? You're not ready. What's happening? You don't pay attention. Which page? They don't have the good page. Can be many things. You can observe a lot of things. So, even if it's not your subject, you can still observe student behavior. Everything. You can always observe the body language of the teacher. Maybe for the content, yeah, you need to be an expert. Do you have a question? Observe. And after the observation session, so what the first step is to listen. Surprise? The first step after the observation is to listen, not to speak. Why?
I think because every activity that the teacher assigns students to do have a reason, have a purpose.
Yes.
So sometimes we don't agree with that, but we still silent to listen to the purpose of the teacher first.
You must understand the purpose.
To avoid judgment without listening to.
Sure. Exactly. It's a very good answer. First, you have to understand what he wanted to do. And then you can ask him, did you reach your objective? Okay. Maybe not so much. Okay. So we agree that there is a problem with your answer. And you don't threaten, oh, it's not a good way to teach. If you start your discussion like that, it will not end well. You cannot start a discussion by saying, oh, your teaching is bad. Okay, I'm afraid. I don't trust this guy. No. Okay. So first listen. He might have good reasons to do what he did, his exercises. Answer his questions first. And then, when you understand him, you can provide feedback. And then you can find solutions with him. Okay? That's the basic idea. It requires some training to do it properly. It's tempting to tell the others how to do things. You want to pass your knowledge. And you should make some efforts to listen first. So, management tasks. What? Any question about observation so far? I think it's important.
Yeah, I would like to ask a question about provide feedback.
Yeah.
The mentor have to show his or her about good point or bad point of teaching, or just only mention about the bad point only.
What you do? Think about yourself. What do you want as a teacher? If someone comes in your classroom,
I think both.
you want both.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have your answer. You want both. What do you want yourself? Think what they need. They need both. They need to know what's good. Very important. Tell them what's good. Try to find the good points. Even if the lesson is catastrophic. Okay? There is almost always a good point to start with. Try to be encouraging.
lấy việc máy của ông này
No. I could provide you with a list of questions, but I don't think it's very useful. And not all the questions are relevant all the time. You see, sometimes if I give you a questionnaire, you might be tempted to try to take all the points, and you don't have time to do everything in one lesson. So use your common sense, what's most important. And another thing is that I strongly believe that those reports should be confidential.
để dạy sọt tập huấn mà nào lỗ
I will write guidelines for school principals so that I don't bother you with reports.
cái coi của tôi
Because I don't want those reports to become a way to track the teachers and to, yeah, you're not policemen, okay? Your mentors are in the school to help, not to punish. If you give your report to someone else, there is a risk that they will use it badly. So, you write the report for the teacher only. Unless there is really an emergency, like a teacher beating a student very hard and the life of the student is in danger, okay, yeah, you talk to the school principal. But in other cases, no. This report is for the teacher. And I think, just a little bit of technique, but we'll talk about that during the training. You should keep it short enough so that they can use it. If you make a list of 20 things that are bad, what can you do? Okay? Just the essential. For the next time, you should improve that specific point. For the next time, for an exercise. That's it. That's your main effort for the next time. Or for next time, you will smile to your students. That's it. That's precise, that's clear, and it can have a huge impact. Okay? Does it answer your question? So,
sorry. So how many teachers will you have to observe? One or
one at a time.
one?
You will have to observe a lot of different
So-
a lot of teachers. Yeah.
So each one have to have one report.
We don't have the schedule yet, but we will try to make you observe as many teachers as possible during the practicum, so that you can observe many different situations. And in practice, when you are posted in your schools after you graduate, you should have something like 9, 10 or 11 teachers to follow up, depending on the experience and the needs. Okay?
In case of teaching, for example, teacher speak too fast,
Yeah.
and he cannot make student to understand the lesson. So what should we do if we tell him and he cannot change his habit?
Yeah. In some cases, you will have to prepare a training. For instance, it's difficult to adapt your speech and to speak slowly. Not everybody is able to slow the speed of his speech. So maybe you should take some time with the teacher privately to do exercises with the voice. Last year I did an exercise like this with the teacher. Not loud enough. So, okay. Exercise. Stand up. Stand up. Tell me something. Louder, please.
Side.
Try to speak loud.
Hello, Mister.
Okay? And for your voice to be more easy to hear, you can try to lower the pitch of your voice. Hi. Speak with a lower pitch. Hi. You can do some exercises like this with them. Don't be afraid to propose some exercises if they cannot do it well by themselves. Sometimes just telling them is enough. Sometimes you need to train them. Okay. During the practicum, you will apply a lot of things that you will learn during the training at the center. For instance, we have a module about classroom management in the syllabus. Theme 1, manage, will do that. We will have some answers to give. Another example, you can use different teaching strategies. You have a lesson about teaching methodology. So normally you should have some solutions. And if you don't have the solution, you can find the solution. Why do we have a stream about research? To find the solutions you don't have yet, by yourself. Another possibility is to use the community. We want you to know each other so that you can ask to your colleagues. You don't have a solution for a specific teacher, okay? I will ask. What can we do with a math teacher who doesn't understand the basic concept of mathematics? Do you have a solution? If the teacher doesn't want. I will not answer this question right now because it's a part of the syllabus in the first stream. Okay? Don't forget, this practicum is a way to practice what you have learned during the year. Okay? Don't worry about that. But I have an advice for you. When you have questions, write them. Write all your questions. If you cannot ask them, it's a good moment. So your question, write it. And keep it for the right moment for during the academic. With all these questions, I will not finish the presentation. So, we will have management tasks in July, but they will depend on the needs of the school. will be something discussed with the school principal. Assessment of the practical. This one is important. Because it's not what you're used to. Basically, we use a competencies-based assessment. I think it's something new. Do you know about that kind of assessment? Oh. It's competency assessment. No? Okay. So, basically it's a checklist. We have a list of all the things you should be able to do. All the tasks the mentors can do. And we check if you are okay. So you have to check all the items. It's a very strong assessment. It's a very serious assessment, but it's very useful for professional learning. We want to make sure that you are ready for the job. That's it. When you check all the skills you need, you're considered as ready for the job. Okay? So, yeah.
Can you go back to the previous slide? Yeah. Competency question for me. I don't see this the same or not, but for me, when I work in my previous organization, we use this to provide all staff, to assess them with self-assessment in the system. We have competency skill like critical thinking. We have 1 to 5 level or problem solving like that. So
Yeah. That will not be divided in 5 levels. It's yes or no, or very good. It's no, yes, or very good.
So it has its own definition and description.
This has its description. Okay. For instance, could be something like can record a video of a lesson. Yes. Okay, you can do it. Go. Let's go. Validate it. Can upload the video. Okay. Validate. That's the principle. The advantage of this system is that we don't miss something important. We train you with all the essential skills. Okay?
Is it just a self-assessment or we have another supervisor to evaluate the...
Remember, you have supervisors with your team. I told you that the supervisor will say almost nothing. Don't think that they will do nothing. They will observe you and check. Okay? That's the role of the supervisor. To check if everything is okay and to validate the skills that you have. Okay? You can do self-assessment with competencies-based system. You can do it. But for graduation, it has to be someone else, not just yourself, because, okay, it's too easy. If I can evaluate myself, no. Doesn't work. Okay? So the skills are validated by the supervisor, and whenever you demonstrate the skills. So maybe a skill like can provide feedback constructively will be validated the very first day. If you do it well, okay, first day, to validate this skill. Okay? So you will be evaluated during the entire practicum, from the day 1 to the final day. Okay? And we will record, and you can see your progress. Okay? This time I've validated my observation skills, So I have to focus on using the software, observe. Next time I will use observe. It's a kind of assessment that is relatively easy to implement when you're basically doing the same task a lot of times. Okay? Is that clear? Oh, just precaution. Just to clarify things. I told you that you can validate some of the items the very first day, but don't think that you have finished when you have validated all the skills. Don't think that you can finish the practicum in 1 month. Because we have a criteria commitment. So this item will be validated only the last day. Okay? You still have to attend practicum. Even if you have already validated all your skills, we know that you are a good mentor, but still you have to attend the practicum. Okay? Is it clear? Well, commitment and attendance can be certified only at the end. Just to make it clear. So, 5 domains will be tested. Teaching skills, when you do your demonstrations or co-teaching. Self-assessment, with observing, mostly. Leadership, observation skills, and counseling. Okay? I will give you some examples, maybe not all the list, it's already time for lunch. So just to make you understand, and I will send you the presentation if you want the details. Okay? So, for instance, teaching skills. To demonstrate specific techniques convincingly. For instance, collaborative learning. You do a lesson using collaborative learning. It's a good lesson. Validated. That's it. That's the principle. Okay? To explain one's choices during the practicum and the limitation. Relevance, expected benefits, points of attention, so that another teacher can imitate you. You do your lesson about collaborative learning, with collaborative learning. Okay? It's a good lesson, but you need to explain why you've made this choice. Not just do a good lesson, but explain why you do it. Okay? Assessment, self-assessment. To identify one's strengths and use them to one's advantage. What you are good at, you can explain. To be lucid about the difficulties and encounters. Your weakness. If you don't want to admit your weaknesses, that will be a problem. Okay? To assess the outcomes of one's lessons in terms of student achievement and motivation. Okay. To use observation. Leadership. Some of the examples. To conduct conferences. When you are the team leader, you can try to validate this one. Okay? Observation skills. If you can, for instance, pay attention to the material conditions of the lesson. Did you notice that the teacher used the whiteboard poorly? But there are some mistakes on the whiteboard. Right. Or did you notice that one of the students had a broken chair? Okay. So each time you're doing a classroom observation, the instructor will check if he can validate one or several of those skills. Okay? Is that clear? That system? So I think we can stop here. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, you can ask them. Don't forget to write your questions. If you cannot ask them right now, I think it's time. Lunchtime.